Okay, let's start with d4. We're playing Omi Domidi from Iran. Okay, d4, d5. Let's say hello. Bishop f5 is an interesting move. And I don't really know much about it. I still have the check if he takes here. I'm going to develop my knight and put a stop to any potential e5 ideas. Yeah, so he goes there. So he just got his bishop outside the pawn chamber. It's kind of like a Slav. Kind of like a Slav. But he never played c6. So I'm wondering if I could play queen b3, put pressure on the center, and hit the b pawn. What does he do? If he takes, I wonder if I should take on b7. He doesn't, so I can take here. I'm not winning a pawn here. I thought this was going to be good for me, but actually I needed to develop my knight to c3 to put pressure on that pawn. So does he want to trade queens here? We'll see. He just goes back. So, yeah, I thought trading queens would leave me with some kind of edge in development. I would also have the idea of playing e4 with tempo. The e-pawn is supported by the knight. I can play this now, so maybe I get an edge in development anyway. Yeah, definitely I get an edge in development because he had to retreat his queen. So this was even better for me development-wise than trading queens. But on the other hand, it is not... keeps the queens on and keeps it complicated, so black certainly still has good chances here, I'm not saying. But I think I should be much better. Look at all the development I have compared to black. So what can I do about it? I can develop this bishop with check. He can't even block with the knight. I could block with the pawn. Or he could play knight, he could block with the knight by playing knight d7. I just meant he couldn't play knight c6 because I can just take it. So I guess that looks like a good developing move, preparing to castle. And he did block with the knight there. Okay, so let's get castled. Maybe put the rooks to the center. Yeah. So what about bishop to c6 now? Is that good? Keeps the pin on and forces him to move his rook. And now maybe bishop to f4 here, looking at the c pawn, put my rooks on the c file and the d file, and push through in the center. That's something I should have considered. So the deal is that my bishop can't really retreat. If it goes back here, he can just push the b pawn and trap my bishop. I can take this knight. I can play this pawn forward. He takes the bishop, I take back with the pawn. And his knight can't go here, so he can't easily attack that pawn. And pawn might be a thorn in his side. I push forward, they could trade first. You could trade the pawn first, but that I don't think makes too much difference. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Then he could take the bishop. I want to get, okay, he just took right away. I want to get my rook to the d file. He can move his knight with tempo. That's true. And so let's drop my queen back and defend the e-pawn. So he's got counterplay here. He's still horribly lacking in development, but sometimes these little tricky openings can work out because of counterplay. I'm wondering if I should play b4 here to kick the knight away, but maybe I need to do something about the bishop first. Okay, I can't play I can't play e5 to kick the bishop because of the pin here and lose my queen. Could drop my bishop back and let him take, or I could take. Takes with the queen, then I play b4, he moves the knight. How about if I bring this rook here? That pins the bishop. So we can't really take. and if I take now, after I put the rook here, then I will have to retake with a pawn, which will give me a passed pawn here. So bishop takes, pawn takes. Pawn to b4, kicking his knight. And where does the knight go? The squares are out, that's out. His knight does not have... Oh, his knight will go to... his knight will go to... Oh no, that's not a square. Yeah, I think his knight is trapped. Here and here is out, here and here is out, here and here is out, here and here. He will take on e4, I guess, is the best option. Yeah, and he gets it back because he now has a pawn here, and he can exploit this pin. By playing that move, yeah. Let's see, so I can go tricky stuff. So I can go knight e5, and he'll probably take with the bishop then. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He takes the pawn up. So all of that, oh, he's got to get the piece back somehow. I'm a piece up and he's a pawn up. But if he just wins the piece back and doesn't give up a pawn to do it, this is what I want to do. I want to defend that knight so that he will take with the pawn, or if he takes with the bishop, I will trade it. Yeah, so he takes with the pawn. And then my idea is to play rook to d7 there. I can take the pawn back now. There is a pin again, but it's not as easy to exploit this time. But he can take here with this queen. Okay, I don't have to take right away. I just wanted to clear the d file for my rook. If I play c7, he can play rook c8. And my b pawn is hanging anyway. Tricky stuff. Okay, how about this? c7, rook c8, queen c6 check. Yeah, maybe that's not so great. I was thinking take here, but then he gets the c pawn after all. Now, then the queen momentarily is on the d file, but I didn't have time to move my knight with tempo because he was threatening to take my queen. So he takes with the rook. Now I can move my knight with tempo. There's also a check here. Where is this queen going? Well, I don't know. If it offers some kind of trade, I think I can trade queens and then save the knight. So I got my pawn back. Let's see, because it's 2-1 over here and 4-3 over here. And it's a knight versus a bishop. I think I have to trade queens here because I need to rescue this knight. But is there a check? There is a check. He blocks with the bishop. I mean, he blocks with the rook after the check. And I don't have anything great there, do I? Okay, so let's trade. Then get that knight to a good square. Maybe double my rooks and try and get something going here. Say rook to rook to d7. Also, I need to move a pawn around my king here. Yeah, he immediately goes there for to unravel the pawn. That makes sense. Okay, I guess I will have to be content with a single passed pawn over here. Yeah, he goes after that. He can't actually take that pawn. At least not right away. Can I exploit this in some way? Like knight here. Let's give myself a little lift here first. And he does the same. So knight here, he has to move the rook, and the knight is defending that guy. There's also rook here, but doubling on the 7th does not seem to actually benefit me a whole lot. So we get into an endgame here. Yeah, so pawn forward. He just takes it, huh? I can check and drive his king to h7, but that does not seem to help. Rook here. He takes the, and it doesn't work either. Okay, let's defend the knight. I don't want to lose the knight. And see what he can do. He can bring the bishop around to attack my knight. Yeah. So, let's attack his bishop. He just retreats. Okay, so let's double here. Okay, let's go with a check. Oh, he gave me extra time. He must be enjoying this game. Anyway, that's a nice thing to do. Let's bring my knight around. Yeah, it gave me a whole minute 25 there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, minute and 15. Aha. Oh, the check here. The check there. The check defends the rook, as well as forking these two guys. So, well, that was very nice of him, but he could have won that game on time probably, because I was so low. And it was a very tricky situation. Okay, so if I go here, it's threatening checkmate, and it's threatening to trade off his rook. Yeah, so he trades rooks. So anyway, I should be able to finally win this endgame. You know, not only do I have an extra pawn, but but his king is confined to the back rank, and I have a rook versus a bishop. So shouldn't be too hard to win this. Okay, anyway, let me say, yeah, I think he would have won, or I would have made a bad mistake. But anyway, because I tend to mess up under time pressure. Anyway, good game, and we'll check that out in a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.